Hello everyone, today we will be learning how to make UI in Unity. We will start by making a tiled background with TileMaker and new AI. And then we will be making buttons, one for changing the scene, and that will be with a script, and another one for activating, for example, a settings menu. And this we don't need a script actually. This we will do it with Unity's button, and we will also be using from the Unity Asset Store. So let's start with the background. To make a background, what you have to do is right-click on the hierarchy, go to UI and Image. Here you can just name it background, and here you will have to put the image source. So let's look for this image source. So to make a tiled background, what we're going to do is head over to TileMaker app. It's an AI tool, really cool. And what you can do here, you can search for whatever you want and with a description of what you want and just click make tile and it will create this background simulating the tile background you will have. So to download the tile, you just have to right click, save image as, and just go to your project. Let's call it tile. And now head over to your project. I have found, I want to go back here. There's something I want to mention. If you click here, download, and download a single tile, it won't work. I don't know why. It just crops a little bit the tile and it doesn't download well. So just do this. Right click, save image, and you will be okay. Great. That said, let's head over to our project and go to your background image. And now we can first click on your tile and change it to, instead of default, change it to Sprite 2D and UI. And apply the changes. Great. Now, let's head over to background. Just drag and drop to the source image. And great. Now what we need to do is to, here where it says image type, just instead of simple, call it tile. And instead, and here just click Alt and Shift and go to this corner and click. And here what it will do, it will fill your background, your display. So now if you want a tile, you don't want it this big, you just have to change this pixel per unit multiplier and just make it bigger as whatever you want. And there, I like it like that, we'll keep it like that. So that's for our background. What's good about tiled background, you won't have the problem with that the image is stretched or that you have different sizes of your screen. This, it doesn't matter how your screen is. Let's change. Here you have your scene. Now let's change how big the screen is, the size. Oh, I have it in a free aspect. Let's say. Now you see it's in free aspect and it doesn't stretch because it's a tiled background. So that's what's cool about tiled, and that's why I use it normally. So let's go back. Now, let's start with buttons. So to create a simple button in Unity, just go right click in the hierarchy, UI, and button. Here we will put, for example, play. So what we're going to do, we want this button to, when it's clicked, we want it to change scene. We want it to go to the next scene. So to do this, we have first to create a script. So we're going to go create C# script, and let's call it change scene. Great. So what we need to do is delete these start and update and create a new function. We will need it to make it public so our button can call it, and we don't need it to return anything, so void, and go to scene and let's put int index. And now you will understand why. So because each scene that is loaded in our game will have an index, and I will show where that index is shown. So what we want to do now is just go to scene manager dot load scene, and here we just can put our index. And that's it. Now, what is this index? Each scene will have an index when you want to build your project. So here you have build settings, and here you have this section that are scenes in build. So right now I don't have any. So what you have to do to add one is just add open scenes. So the scene I have opened right now in my project will be added here. So if I put add open scenes, here I know that the index is 0. Now if I want another scene to, if I want to change it to another scene, right? So let's just create a scene and let's just call it our game. And let me fast forward this part. I'm just going to put a nice background. So great. Here I did a simple, just a scene, so we know that we changed to another scene. Let's add it to our build settings and add open scene. So here you can see now you have a 1 here, right? So when we want to change to this scene, what we will do is change to the scene number 1, index 1. So let's go back to our menu. So now let's create a game manager, just a empty object game manager. We'll add this script to the main manager, game manager. There we go. And now in the button, what we have to do, here we have on click. So on click, we want the game manager to change our scene. So let's go to change scene. And here let's find our function. Go to scene here. Go to scene, and which scene we want to go to? The 1. Now to change the text on our button, we can put, just go to the button and under it we will have text. Change the text on it, play. There we go. And now let's just start to see how this goes. Now let's maximize this. We put play and it changes to our game. Great. Now let's do something else. Let's make, for example, if we press the button, we want something to appear. For example, a help menu or something like that. So let's create a help menu. So what we do is create, right click UI and a panel. Let's put the help menu and let's make it a little bit like that. There we go. And we want to center it. There we go. So if you click Shift and Alt and then click in the center, we want it, that means we want it in the center. If we click here, it will be on that side, here will be in that side, and all makes sense. So that's clicking Shift and Alt at the same time. Great. And now that we're here, let's center this too. There we go. So here in the help menu, what we will have, you can change, let's do it black. And a little bit harder. There. And let's just create, I don't know, a simple text of help. The UI, text Mesh Pro, help menu. There we go. This you can center it to. Oh, and then here you can, text Mesh Pro lets you center in the text, and there we go, it's centered. Also, you can make it be occupy the whole, and if you just, when you make it, okay, I want it to occupy everything, what this means is If I'm inside the help menu, then its whole scene will only be the help menu. Now, if from here, if I should do this and put, okay, everything, then it will go to the whole scene. But that's not what we want to do. Great. So this is what we want to appear when we click another button. So let's deactivate this object and create another button. Let's just UI button, and let's put help, for example. Let's put it in the center and move it downwards. And in its text, let's just put help. There we go. So what we wanted to happen is that when this button is clicked, we want for the help menu to appear. So let's just add on click event. Let's drag and drop the help menu, and here you can put game object and set active. And here we just say yes, we wanted to set it active. So great. Let's put play, and we put help, then the menu appears. But what happens here, you can see that the help button is over the menu. So what we have to do here is just drag this over here and it will be under. So let's do that on not on play mode. So let's drag it up there and it will just be under the help menu. Great. So what we need to do is just the same here. When we activate it, then we won't be able to turn it off again. So what we have to do is just create another little button. Create UI button. Let's call it close. Here, let's put a close. Let's move it. Let's put it in the help menu. There we go. And let's put it on the bottom of it and move it a little bit up. Let's resize it a little bit. There we go. We can just uncenter it again. There we go. Move it up. And what we want to do is for it when it's clicked, we want our help menu to be deactivated. So we just leave it like that. So now let's deactivate this to start. We can just put help, and when we put close, it disappears, and if we put play, it changes the scene. Perfect. Now let's try with not these buttons that are not that pretty. Let's go to the Unity Asset Store and find better buttons. So the asset that we're going to use is this 2D Simple UI pack. I'm going to leave the link in the description. So to use it, what you have to do is first add it to your assets, put accept, and as soon as this notification is shown, just go to your project, go to Window, Package Manager, just search for 2D Simple UI Pack, and here you will find it, and just download it. After it's downloaded, just put import so it goes into your project. Here I'm just gonna delete the scenes that we don't need that. And I'm going to leave everything else and import. Now that we have our buttons here in our simple pack, we just can go to examples and prefabs, and you will find here some horizontal buttons. And for example, here we have a play button. let's put it over here. And let's make it there, and let's make it a little bit bigger. So here we can just do this, click on the center and scale appropriately. Let's put it in the center and move it a little bit upwards. There we go. And what we have here, it has just the same objects as before. Here we have a button component. And here in transition, you will see that it has animation. If you look to the Unity one that we first started with, it just has color tint. What does this mean? The transition means when you're clicking it or when you're just over it, what will happen to the button? How will it change? So here you have color tint, sprite swap, it swaps the sprite, and animation. So in this button, you will see that it has selected the animation transition. What this means is here it will have an animation controller, and it has different animations that the author has created, and they're pretty cool. So when it's highlighted, you will have the highlighted animation. When it's pressed, you will have the pressed animation, and so on. So if you look here at the animation, here you have the animation controller. When it's normal, well, it has the normal animation. Highlighted, it has another animation. Pressed, it has the other animation, and so on. So let's go to our scene, and let's just leave it like this. Let's not add a script yet. So so you can see the animation. So when you click it, it shows as it's being pressed. So now let's add its script. So now it's just the same as before. Here we had in the play button, we had our game manager, and we just added the script. Let's add an event, drag the game manager, go to our change scene, and go to scene 1. We can disable this one now. So let's do the same with the help button. In this case, we don't have an help button, but let's just do the options one just for the sake of the video. And let's make it the same size as the other one. Let's just copy the scale and add it to this one. There we go. And let's just do the same as we did here. What did we do? We wanted for the help menu to appear. So we're just going to drag the help menu and set it active. So we're just going to deactivate this button, and in the options button, in the options place, just add here, drag and drop the help menu, game object, set active, and true. Let's try it. So if we put options, the help menu will appear. And if we put play, the game scene will appear. So well, I hope this helped. And there you have it. Subscribe for more videos like this.